So we are done with all the technical sessions, but last but not the least, we are left with the additional slot for uh, today's event, and we have the chairperson for the additional slot, Dr. S. Sarima Devi, with us. So, ma'am, are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Welcome here, ma'am. And for her, I would like to say that Dr. S. Reema Devi, ma'am, she's an associate professor and head department of English, School of Liberal Arts and Special Education, Kalasalingam Academy of Research and Education, Krishnan Koil. So welcome, ma'am, and over to you, ma'am.
Thank you,
Welcome.
sir. Thank you so much for those nice words. Thank you. And really happy to be a part of this event. It's happy to see that all teachers, we prove again and again, the academicians, that no pandemic can stop us from thinking and working it out. Really happy.
So true.
Shall we move on to the session?
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to hear from Dr. Datraya M. Moore, Assistant Professor in English, Ujjwal Gramin Mahavidyalaya, Maharashtra. Dr. Dattatreya.
I think he's not there. We could not find
Okay.
him in the list of the participants.
Okay, then we'll move on to Dr. Debarati Das, Assistant Professor, Department of English, Guwahati, Assam.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am. I'm here,
Good
ma'am.
evening, ma'am. Good evening. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you so much, ma'am. Good evening, respected teachers and my dear friends. And my topic today is English as a second language, female education, an overview. This project studies English as a second language in India. A language is a means of conventional vocal signs by means of which human beings communicate. English is such a language which is universally accepted as a way of interaction in all parts of the world. But this language is not a language which India already possessed. It is a language which adopted due to the British rule in India, and later English, which was the mother tongue of the Britishers, spread this language in India because of the immigrants. They wanted to trade, and that was the sole purpose for which they came to India. Later ruled the country, and that is the only reason why some people who were a bit educated, some were forced to learn English. And looking from the other perspective, English is not an Indian language. It is a foreign language.
Dr. Debarati.
Yes, I'm there, ma'am.
Okay.
It is a foreign language. English, first language in India, as India is a land of vast culture, regions, and more to be specific, it has different cities which have different language. On this basis, we can see that English as a second language has been applied to all the state board schools which have their regional language as the first language in the schools, and English as a second language, like some state schools in West Bengal, some schools in Assam has a board, etc. And they give their own regional language. So in these places, English is the second language, and the regional language is considered to be their first language. But as per the latest trend, English is an officially accepted language. It actually helps in interacting with other people from different parts of the world. It now has to speak in English. It is a tradition today, and the people who do belong from English medium school are dubbed by the so-called English-speaking people. Knowing English these days are not native, but altogether distortion among the whole of the crowd. And globalization in all fields necessitates the of language which is international. The English has become the world language rather than the language of the English-speaking countries such as EU and America, UK, America, because the number of people who use English of communication exceeds much more than the number of the people who speak it their mother. If we come to the science, engineering, and technology, and also to medicine, these textbooks are only available in English. And considering this fact, learning English as the universal language.
Excuse me, ma'am, your voice wobbles a lot. Hope you do have
Because
network
of
issues
the
there. Yes, yes.
because it's raining very heavily here, ma'am.
Okay, fine, ma'am. Please continue.
As the world language, so it is the universal language. It becomes an inseparable branch, which is also unavailable in the Indian education system. It is very interesting to know that India is a nation with its third largest English-speaking country after US and UK. So India is in India it is increasingly a must-know language, and without knowing English, a person can feel humiliated if we cannot speak this language. The language which is given much importance because of the period too. After and the period which we call it the after independence period. If we take again local languages as the first language, means preserving the culture of the country and not totally adopting the Western culture. The schools which has English as the second language preserve the rich language culture of its own local language. Nowadays, if we say English writers like Shakespeare is given more importance than Rabindranath Tagore. Earlier, the interest was taken on poems of rich literary Bengali works such as the Jibanananda Dr. Jyotirmohan Bagchi, etc., whose interest shifted to Robert Frost. We consider also famous Hindi poets Sundar Kabir, except whose poetries are losing its importance because it is exhausting because of the influence and its languages. English schools still holds a place of prestige in our country and in many
Dr. Devarati. It seems she has lost her connectivity. Shikha ma'am? Dr. Debarati. Dr. Debarati, please continue.
Ma'am, she has left the meeting.
No, she has rejoined, sir.
She has rejoined it. Okay, sorry.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, yes, please.
Shall I continue, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Could you make it a briefer one, the presentation?
Yes. I will just
Because you lose your connectivity.
yeah, ma'am.
Okay.
So, English, they will be eager to send their wards to school where English is taught well. Inequalities in education for girls and women are complex, and women and girls face explicit barriers to enter to school because of the violence against women or prohibition of girls from going to school, and women are not given importance to the learning of the STEM, that is science, technology, engineering, and medicines, which is necessarily done in English. So these educational disparities are deep-rooted, and improving girls' education levels have been demonstrated to have clear impact on the health and economic future of our young women too. So all these things relate to contribute English as a second language, and in, in relation to female education, females are generally deprived of going to school, and when they are sent to school, they are sent generally to a government school where they need not pay any fees, and English medium schools are regarded as prestigious schools where parents don't want to afford for female education. So we have to remove this disparity in order to improve the learning of English language amidst the females of India. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. That was a deep analogy, a strong analogy on how the girls they are treated. Any questions to Dr. Debarati?
Yeah, I have, with your permission, ma'am, I have one question.
Please, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Dr. Das, it was a beautiful paper that you have analyzed that how English has evolved and how it has dominated our psychology from the colonial period. However, my question to you is it that women are not given the proper exposure of English education? Is that the only cause that they are not able to learn the language, or there could possibly be more variables to it? I mean, just it is my thought. It is not something very gender biased. I'm not gender biased, but still asking this question.
Yeah, if we take from one point of view, then we can see there are many variables where women can acquire or learn the language. But when it comes to grooming, we see that only schools or colleges give you a infrastructure. If you take about the infrastructure, we go from childhood to your adulthood. So in this period, learning is a continuous process where training is given. So in this training period, generally from the earlier days, we see that only males are sent to good schools, and females, they are generally sent to a lesser good school. So there So when a better school, a better scope of education, when you get better scope of education, the learning of the language becomes more easier.
Very true.
That is the
Very
thing.
true. Very true. Yes. Thank you.
No, thank you, Dr. Gavardi, for answering the questions. But now I do have one simple question. Is the condition still prevailing, what you said, because the girls are sent to government schools and they are not given exposure to education through high standard schools which follow English medium?
In our urban India, we don't have this problem, but in rural India, it still prevails.
Okay. But a recent study has said that there is a very strong deviation in this percentage, and that's why I just wanted to clarify, ma'am.
Very true, ma'am. There is a huge deviation. You are
Yeah.
right, absolutely right. Because in Jammu also, I don't see such kind of disparity.
Yes, yes, sir, true. And perhaps, ma'am, to make it a lighter tone, we are all aware that girls, in whatever situations we are put, will thrive, will survive
That's
a better survival than the men.
yeah.
It's a fact, ma'am. It's a fact.
Anyway, thank you, sir. Thank you for not being gender biased and for agreeing. Thank you so much. Okay, now let's thank you, Dr. Debarati, for the very nice presentation and the very nice topic. Thank you. And now we move on to the next presenter, Ms. Jyoti Bala, research scholar, Jalandhar, Punjab. Ms. Jyoti,
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
over to you.
My voice is audible?
Yes. Please proceed.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Jyoti Bala. I'm a research scholar in Department of Social Sciences Education, LPU Jalandhar. I wish you patience and attention for a few minutes. The topic for my presentation is teachers' perception associated with educational games as a method of learning. First of all, educational games are games explicitly designed with educational purpose to help learners learn about certain subjects, expand concepts, assist them in learning a skill as they play. In the words of the Friedrich Schiller, humans are only humans when they play. With the increasing use of latest technology in the field of education, my voice is audible, na, ma'am?
Yes,
Yes,
Ms. Jyoti,
Am I
please
audible?
proceed.
Very audible.
Okay. Thank you, sir. So, with the increasing use of the latest tools in the field of education, has become the most debatable topic among educational institutions and educators. Gaming is traditionally considered as interference to studies. Currently, it is playing a vital role in driving engagement and motivation among students to learn concepts in an interactive way. Educational games like riddles, puzzles, whether computerized or traditional, can improve teamwork and interaction among students and help them to apply the concepts they have learned in their real life. There are several fun and educational games for children for all age groups, as we all know. But one thing which is worth considering is whether such games are really helpful for children for their academic performance. Are there any consequences of technology in studies? Educational games are widely used as learning method to improve and simplify learning nowadays. By keeping the technological tools aligned with curriculum, educational games can directly impact the achievement of the learners. This study is aimed to discuss the use and implementation of educational games in modern teaching methods, along with their benefits and possible use cases. In the words of Cambridge, educational video games are known as the best teaching tool as they drive satisfaction and motivation, use visuals rather than theories, develop mastery skills, several learning techniques and styles, and provide decision-making and interactive context. They are known to be an ideal tool to improve the quality of the educational system, but they are still not being easily adopted by all the educational institutions. Hence, it is important to investigate the factors affecting teachers' adoption of educational games. With the time, central authorities, teachers, and parents are shocked by the increasing dropout rate at all levels over the years. It is because of the dramatic decline in interest among students for learning. Studies reveals this. There are several statements to prove the line. As in the words of the Prinsky, he argues that the students' expectations literally do not match their classroom environment. Prinsky further states that today's students are digital natives who used to interact with smartphones, computers, or games consoles, which are completely different from the traditional academic pattern. It is also believed that video games can improve learning in different ways. The games can motivate students to learn as they can grab their attention with immersive and engaging experiences. These are the lines of the G. There is no way to get away from the use of technology, and it has become a better part of life. We all know screen time is also increasing among kids, even adults also. There is no control over it. To help them learn new skills, there are so many brain-ticking offline games for interactive learning. These games can develop their memory, visual skills, mathematical skills, language, and grammar. What I mean to say that they all are going to touch the cognitive domain of an child. There are also some online teacher-designed educational games with activities recommended for children from preschool to build basic skills from counting to reading, fraction to coding. Likewise, children can build several vital skills in writing, reading, mathematics, digital literacy, etc. They can practice skills to succeed and have a positive experience in learning. All in all, games can enhance learning in students as an effective learning technique. Educational games can teach different skills while playing that are beyond curriculum, such as sportsmanship, teamwork, critical thinking, communication skills, and problem-solving skills. Educational games in the classroom also motivate students to be a part of all learning activities. Now, what's the teacher perception for educational games as a learning method? This is my topic. And for this, what I did, I go through the certain review papers, and I came to know that Skrender in 2006 examined the personal experience of the personal pre-service teachers with interactive video games and explained their views in gaming in classrooms. The results of the studies are associated with the recent literature, and he concluded the experiences of the pre-service teachers that are different from general, like massively multiplayer online games and using those games for rewards. Inc. and Demerblick in 2013 investigate the precision of high-end secondary school teachers on educational computer games in Turkey. The study was conducted on teachers working at 26 high-end secondary schools. The author suggests that teachers are more positive who use educational games in classes than those who don't use games. In addition, secondary school teachers were more likely to use educational games than high school ones in the course. Koh in 2011 examines the use of simulation and video games in Singapore schools through a survey. They shed light on teachers' perception on the use of gaming activities and their adoption and the use in learning. They also discuss the challenges in adopting games for teachers. They also analyze the factors like experience, teaching level, and the student for potential influence on their perception. As we talk about something more, then we can I'll go for adding the line that games teach many things to children in a constructive way. With the evolution of science and technology, such changes improves the way of living. The progress and evolution have also changed the way we used to learn and teach. Such changes gave birth to a whole new breed of educational tool to teach students in a modern way. In 2021, Rahimi recently tested the efficacy and usefulness of the incentive system in fun and educational games on learning and performance of the students. The aim of this incentive game was to encourage students to seek help in learning and acquire knowledge while reducing the use of game-related support. Findings of a study suggest that there is a decline in dependence on solution videos, and they viewed content-related support more often. By showing content-based support, students achieved higher score and completed more level than who watched less support videos. In 2021, Duldulova validated the condition in which word game can be used most effectively in teaching foreign languages. The author suggested the condition in which word game can be used in most effective way in foreign language classes. The study discusses whether educational games could be used in higher education also. Now, the research objective of this paper is to study and analyze instructive games as a learning method, to understand the teacher's perception towards games as a learning method. So there are many benefits of the educational games in the classroom. It is important for teachers to adopt at least one game every day to one of the important learning areas as a learning or teaching tool and as a classroom motivator. In the words of the Victoria, students feel more motivated and engaged when playing games. Educational games helps in learning in many ways, like they helps in motivating the learner. They prove to be a better motivator. They help the learner to indulge in predefined tasks by playing games, helps in even managing the classroom management, competitiveness. Students compete with one another while playing games and even help one another in other activities. Helps in building strategies. Most games are based on simulations and strategies. They need problem-solving techniques to pass the level. Students can apply different strategies with their memory to solve issues and boost their mental strength. Likewise, helps in raising the positivity, curiosity, and definitely helps in reducing the stress, like having a worksheet to write answer to the questions and producing a page full of text is quite stressful, even for we also. It also forms a negative experience from a learning environment. On the other side, games can be less stressful for them to present their skill, understanding, and knowledge of a particular topic. They will have more positive experience and can indicate their learning. Teamwork. Classroom games can also improve teamwork in the class. This is a very important feature. Some games require students to team up in small groups or teams to play together. Students learn to build respect, take turns, develop a fair play, and listen to others. Now, to clarify that, what's the perception towards education games as a learning method? Teachers' perception towards education as a learning method. For this, I go for the review literature. I reviewed the papers and came to know that the games have become the center of attraction for many academicians and researchers worldwide. According to MC Farlane, games promote the overall growth of different skills that are vital for the autonomous learner. Teachers are usually focused on academic and motivational benefits when adopting games in classroom. There are 3 types of educators when it comes to adopt games. First category, educators who are skeptical in trying other types of games and stuck to only a particular genre of games. Second, educators who know the potential of games in learning. And the third one, educators who are not at all interested in games and not used any games either. This is a classification which are given by the Dondi and Moriti. Now, a teacher in a primary school who firmly believe in the importance of learning found significant improvement in the literacy assessment in the class with the games. This is the study which was done by the Reland, and these are the results of the study that he proved. He suggested us that the importance of learning found significant improvement when we use the games in our teaching methodology in our classroom. When we introduce the games, then the rate will definitely raise. Games help students to absorb and retain information, improve motor skills, analyze the situation, think and make decisions quickly, improve concentration and coordination on visuals. While playing games, people are completely immersed in providing optimized experiences. It is found that games improve emotional and social learning. Games allow teachers to keep track of problem-solving abilities of the students in real time and also observe their performances. Games provide all the resources to the teachers to make their concepts practical in scientific processes. So, in the last, I must say, the teacher in this study observed that students' performance can be improved by combining learning preferences of the students with interactive educational games. It is observed that the games are helpful for students to grasp some concepts with fun twist, and they start looking at such concepts differently. But it is also important that educational games should be adopted as supplements, not as the alternatives to the traditional methods of the teaching. Games have great potential to improve the academic results of the students. With these lines, I like to say thank you. These are my concluding lines.
Thank you, Ms. Jyoti Bala. Thank you. That was a wonderful presentation.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Very profound indeed.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Jyoti
Perhaps
Bala,
the
ma'am.
need of the hour.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am. Very good evening to you. You
Thank you,
presented very well, ma'am, and you confidently presented your paper, and also
you so
you
much.
showed some of the evidence, review evidence. It was a very superb.
Thank you so
In the
much.
role of teacher perspective, I do agree all of you, all the sentence expressed by you.
Yes, ma'am.
We are now everyone is look upon only the learning achievement, academic achievement only. But we
Yeah,
are
ma'am.
sometimes most of the time we neglect the engagement part. But the games gives most immersive and engagement experience. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
In the role of parent perspective, I do have some doubt how to accept this.
Yes, ma'am.
Because
Yes, ma'am.
we have to consider the addiction. Most of the child are every time in the online only. How to overcome this, ma'am?
But ma'am, with the passage of the time, parents must get awareness that how educational games are going to enhance the cognitive domain of the children. For this, what we have to do, being a teacher, we must have counseling sessions for the parents during the parent-teacher meets. What I suggest that we must tell them that when the student is not interesting, child is not interesting in a particular topic, then we must have to teach them with the trick that we must implement the educational games. This is my opinion, ma'am.
Yeah,
You
thank you,
are
ma'am.
right, Ms.
Thank you,
Jyoti,
ma'am.
but being a parent, Ms. Sahaya Mary would have another question. What about the health issues of the children? Am I right, Ms.
Yes,
Ma'am?
ma'am, yes, you are absolutely right, ma'am. But as I already told in my paper that screen time is increasing, no doubt. But why should we go for the online games? There are so many offline games which our parents have even played with we people. My father has played the riddles and puzzles with me, and then word building. And there are so many like such things. There is no need to that we spend much more time on the screen.
You're right, ma'am, but education is now online.
Yeah, I
don't
got
have
your
education.
point. I agreed, ma'am. I
So,
agreed, ma'am.
Someone else was coming out.
yes,
Yes.
Jyoti, it was a wonderful paper you talked about.
Good.
You tried to convince us that using phone and giving phone to the kids is very good for us. And it is
This is a
sometimes because
handshake from my end.
yeah, because because there is so much chaos in our lives, so much of work pressure that coming home tired, you can't handle kids, but it is the easiest thing to do so. But everyone is talking about when the game is developed and the children are playing it. However,
Yes.
my question is before
Yes.
that what is the role of the teacher in the
Yes.
development of the game? Is it
Yes.
like teacher gives the input to the designer and designer designs
Yes,
something,
definitely.
or जिस डिजाइनर को जो लगता है वो गेम बताता है, टीचर को लगता है it is close to the aims and objectives of his teaching, and then teacher suggests. So kindly clarify this simple question.
Sir, I'll try to clarify the doubt, sir. Sir, इसमें इस
Sir, I am
तरह
not.
से
Sorry, ma'am. I am not understand your question, sir.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I'll make you. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Mary, what I was saying, what is the role of the teacher to give inputs in the development of the game? Whether teacher gives the input to the designer to design a particular game, or whatever whatever it suits to the designer makes the game and gives it to the teacher, and teacher, according to the objectives, closeness to the objectives of teaching, suggests the game. This is my question.
So what, sir, as per to my perspective, what I am thinking that a teacher has to work a lot
Yeah, very true.
on the
Input
framing
side.
of the educational games, that which kind of educational game is suitable for a particular topic, and definitely a subject trainer, a subject mastered, and an individual who is having a knowledge of technology also can dig well that which kind of technology we can use, which kind of game we can plan for the children of a particular age. So teacher is having a biggest role, huge role in making the educational games. This is not like that someone says that we have framed such kind of educational games and then go for this. No, sir. Definitely educational game framers also have to take the opinion of the teachers, like we frame the curriculum.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Jyoti.
Thank you
so
very much, sir.
Abhimanyu sir, with your permission, shall I register one thing here?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, sir. Actually, I'm very happy to associate with the Jyoti Bolama because I am also doing research in this area.
Wow,
With 1 year,
beautiful.
yeah, with 1 year journey of this educational games, I saw that plenty of research in the abroad only. There is very less number of research in our India. So I
Okay.
congratulate ma'am for doing this research. And also,
Thank you so much.
For your question, sir, there was some platform, Scratch and Game Fruit. Sir, these are platform. We can
Okay.
create the own educational game. The teacher or student, we can able to create our own free of cost. So there are some platforms also there. We
Okay.
can develop our educational book.
Okay. I mean, it just clicked my mind, Jyoti and Mary. You remember our plenary speaker, Dr. Amitabh Dwivedi, in the morning?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
I have listened to him fully.
Yes. He has written the research article on the linguistics of the traditional games of Jammu region, Dogra region. All right.
Yes, sir.
What those
Sir.
games which they used to play, and what were the linguistic, like Poshan Pa, Papiyon ne kya kiya?
हाँ जी, जी.
Then there was another game I don't remember. We used to sit in the circle, and then
In the
someone
circle, and then
holding that
Yes.
handkerchief,
Handkerchief.
behind
Yes, sir.
someone.
Yes,
And
sir.
then Coco is another game, the regional games. So he has
Yes, sir.
worked on it. So if you think that you can take any input or insight from him, you can contact him.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thank you, sir.
It's a pleasure. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ms. Jyoti. That was such a
Thank you
wonderful
so much.
presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
And hope, Ms. Sahai Mary, you're convinced with the answers. Really so nice of you to appreciate your also work.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
now, so we'll move on to Bandana Sodhi, lecturer. And the topic is early childhood education then and now. Do we have Bandana here? So the next is a very active presenter. I'll just tell the topic of presentation is the Bharatiya Bhasha and NEP 2020 Scope and Challenges of Indian Sign Language.
Yes.
And our presenter, yes sir, please, over to you.
Thank you, thank you so much.
Hello, ma'am. Hello.
Yes,
Good
yes.
morning. Good evening, ma'am. My name is Vanda Sodi.
Oh,
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
so should
Ma'am,
I
we
start
will.
or should?
Yes, ma'am. Hello, everybody. Today's my topic is early childhood education.
Uh,
Then and now.
Excuse me, ma'am. Sorry,
Yes,
sir.
ma'am.
Sorry, everybody, sir. Because she has come.
Okay,
Shall
ma'am.
we open the platform to her?
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, ma'am, please.
Thank you, ma'am. Today's my topic is early childhood education. Then and now. Early childhood education is the first stage of primary education. Is the first stage of education that is also known as primary education, and the first ladder of the whole entire system of education. It is related to the education formally, informally from birth to 8 year old up to class third. The first 8 year of child's life is a period of tremendous growth and development. A large proportion of human brain development takes place after as a result of interaction with the environment. The early impact of early experience has a great influence on development than the heredity. There exists a normal pattern of development of motor skills, social, economic skills, cognitive skills, language skill in young children. And if we talk about India, we all know that there is a long tradition of valuing in the children the sanskars, the values, moral, which are inculcated among us. It has a rich heritage of cultural practice for stimulating the children's all-round development and inculcating values and social skill in young children. These shared child care and child rearing practice were paired on from one generation to another. This early childhood education and care practice were primarily set in the context of a joint family system, which is presently not on which is presently on a flux in contemporary urban Indian society. As we all know that joint family has become um, a rarity, it is common to find out that families in which both parents are working professionally have problem to rear their children. Parents raising their children in such nuclear families are dependent on childcare center, preschools program, and other community-based program. Um, these these centers are not a wise idea, but it is not wise to choose, but it is our it is our option. It is the only option that we have. Parent like we remember that early childhood development and education largely happen on the child's home. When parents have a when parents play vital role in their child's early development, the child feel happy. As parents and working professional ourselves, we understand how difficult it is to handle the child. In this paper, I explain why early childhood education. Please, sorry. In this
It's
paper,
okay.
I explain why early childhood education is essential, and the development of human brain is in early year and its correlation with early age learning lay down the core objective of childhood education. Okay, ma'am. Sorry. Rabindranath Tagore, Vivekanand, Arvindo, Gandhiji, Tarabai Modak were among the earliest and the most influenced thinker in modern India who realized the importance of early childhood and education. They helped conceptualization of child-centric approach to early childhood development, as they believe this education yield maximum benefit of it in beginning at birth. Infancy and early childhood are interpersonal stage in brain development from birth to 6 year of life. constantly develop the skill necessary not only for speaking, writing, walking, but also for more social interaction and awareness. Development of emotional control, habitual way of responding, language, literacy, and all of the which impact social learning and academic achievement well into later years. I'm here to state that consider that early childhood education is just send the children to the school and taught them 3 hours reading, writing, and arithmetic, but it is not sending student children to schools and um, help and sing a rhyme, sing a song, and go back to home. It is not a teacher-centered program that follow formal classroom approach as in school, and it is not a program to conduct a test to know how much children are learning and how much they are developing. It is more than judging. It is more than teacher centered. It is more than making them parrot to sing rhyme, to sing song, to learn. It is a stage which help children to develop their maximum to enjoy. And if we talk about ourselves all, तो जैसा हम देखते हैं कि अगर हम अपने टाइम को याद करें, अपने बचपन को याद करें, तो हमारा बचपन जो था वो बहुत अच्छा होता था. We have less pressure of education. We were less worried about our education, and we enjoy our schooling, we enjoy our childhood. But at present, when we talk about from the last year, the situation of corona is here. और इससे क्या है कि बच्चे जो है सबसे ज्यादा इफेक्ट, अगर हम एजुकेशन की बात करते हैं तो सबसे ज्यादा इफेक्ट पड़ा है अर्ली चाइल्डहुड एजुकेशन पे. एक बच्चा जो 3 साल का है, जो अभी भी 3 साल
Ma'am,
का
we
हुआ है.
request you to please speak in English because
Okay,
we
ma'am.
have
Okay.
participants
Okay,
from
ma'am.
South
Okay,
India
ma'am.
also.
Okay, ma'am. If we analyze that the children children from these stages are not able to read, write, and not so much capable of doing things because they don't go to their schools. They missed the schools, and at present their education is suffering very badly. When we talk about early childhood education, we all know that it should be at most significant. This is to realize by all the members of our community, respective of their background and occupation. The first year or the first 3 years of the child's life are considered to be crucial. And the present time, students, especially the toddlers, the preschoolers, and the kindergarten students are suffering. I conclude my paper by saying that it is important that to remember that every child is unique. They cannot and should not be compared with anyone. Each child develops at her own pace and in her own style. Although we, as responsible citizens of the country, parent and teacher, pay our attention toward these little flowers and provide them maximum to grow and find out their own skies. I conclude my paper by saying thank you.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Now, as you rightly said, we were enjoying our childhood, but we have turned into parents who expect a lot. We start extracting from our children on the academic side. Now, any questions to her? No questions? Okay, then thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
We move on to Abhimanyu, sir. Over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Rema. It is really wonderful to have you as a chairperson. But before I continue with my topic today, which is Bharatiya Bhasha, that is Indian languages and national education policy, I
Ma'am, could you
would
please mute? Ma'am?
Bandana ma'am, if you could mute yourself. Yeah.
I did it.
Yeah, cool. Thank you, Dr. Shubhra. First of all, before I go ahead, ma'am, I'm really grateful to have you as a chairperson in my session. Then Dr. Sushma is there, and Dr. Shubhra Jungal is there, who's sitting since morning here along with me. Thanks to you for your patience. And Ravinder is there, wonderfully chairing the entire session, and my
And
colleagues
even
and friends.
Sunana is there. I must
Yes,
thank
yeah,
you.
Miss Kapoor is there, Nana Kapoor is there also.
Yes.
So I'm really grateful to all of you, that those who have been waiting since morning, and finally I'm here. Ma'am, Chairperson ma'am, I have made my speech for around 7 minutes, a
Okay,
minute
sir.
here and there. And today I would be talking about those 6 crore 30 lakh people, those who cannot speak. I'm the voice of those people who are deaf and dumb. So kindly, if I take a minute here and there, kindly listen to me. Give me that
Okay.
scope. All right. So I'm going to
Permission
talk
granted.
about. Thank you so much, ma'am, for the generosity. I'm talking about Indian Sign Language. What is Indian Sign Language? So technically speaking, from the name itself, we can make it that Indian Sign Language is a language used by the deaf and dumb community all over India. But here it has a problem. We are going to talk about the challenges and then the scope of it in national education policy. What national education policy has done with it. Earlier in the morning also, when we have our speaker, sir, from Central University, keynote speaker, there also I raised the same question and he was able to answer it. So the challenges that we are going to come across, but let us see what they are. Now here another challenge in Indian Sign Language is teachers training program are not oriented towards teachers to teach or use any method for Indian Sign Language. There is no study material that incorporates Indian Sign Language. Unfortunately, parents are also of the deaf children, they are unaware of the sign language and the ability of sign language to remove the communication barriers. On the very sad part, lack of availability of Indian Sign Language interpreters is a major challenge here, which NEP 2020 is trying to cover up. Now, what is the challenge? According to the Healthy Social Inclusion of the deaf and dumb community, there has to be one interpreter for every four deaf and dumb candidate. Unfortunately, in India, there are less than 340 sign language interpreters for 6 crore 30 lakh people. So you can understand, and we talk about inclusion, we have given them 3% disability quota. So our education module is like that. If the person has to study using the sign language, he cannot go beyond class 8. How will he do his MA? How will he be a clerk and let us talk about at the very basic level. How would he be a clerk if we are not able to communicate? He himself doesn't know the words and the language. And moreover, we people with sound and speech are totally out of it. So now let us talk about the Indian Sign Language and what NEP has done with it. NEP has recognized sign language as the complete independent language, and thus after recognizing it as a complete language, it has started working towards it in standardizing it and including in the mainstream academia. Now, why Indian Sign Language need to be standardized? Indian Sign Language is like a dialect of every area. It's like we have a dialect of every area of every region, whether big or small. There are certain differences. So this is what happened in Indian Sign Language. So here I'm going to make a sign. If people can see me on the screen, at some parts of India, E is taught like this. But at some parts of India, E is taught like this. In some parts of India, F is taught like this, and in some parts of India, F is taught like this. Another is somewhere blue is taught like this, and otherwise blue is taught like this. So if there is a disparity or there is a non-synchronization between the language, that means the person living in Jammu and learning the sign language of Jammu will not be able to communicate properly properly. I am saying he would be able to communicate, but not properly with person of the of Hyderabad possibly. So similarly, there are around 135 sign languages in the world, and if we usually Google it, we come across American Sign Language, British Sign Language, Australian Sign Language, German Sign Language, and Indian Sign Language. But the sign language of India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Nepal, they are very similar, very similar, almost the same after standardization, we can say. So it is also often called as Indo-Pak Sign Language. Now, when we talk about the data, we will understand the importance of standardization. According to the World Health Organization report, India has 6 crore 30 lakh people who are speech and hearing impaired. According to the National Association of Deaf, that is NAD, despite increasing NGOs and private institutes for deaf, only 1% are literate in sign language. The healthy ratio of inclusion of a deaf and dumb community to the interpreter is 4:1. But in India, the case we have already discussed, there are less than 340 interpreters for every 6 crore 30 lakh people. So here I would like to quote an incident, keeping the identities. It is a real incident that I am quoting. Keeping the identities hidden and respecting them. A deaf and dumb mute woman got abused in her office, sexually abused in her office, but she couldn't communicate because of lack of expression and the lack of language and certainly the confidence. But her daughter realized that there is something wrong. So her daughter and she both learned learned the sign language. And when she got few words or few alphabets, she immediately told what was going her with the with her in the office. Though legal actions have been taken. So even if we have Dr. Shubhra Jamwal sitting over here, who is professor in such a huge college in Jammu with more than thousands of students and teachers in the college, if a mute students come to your college, among all those 2,000, 10,000 of students and teachers you have around you, would you be able to communicate with that one person? Or even Dr. Sushma Chauhan is there, even Ravinder is there from the same college, right? So we won't be able to communicate. So if we see, if something is wrong with a deaf or mute person, maybe a heart attack or asthma attack or gastric attack or any other discomfort, we cannot wait for an interpreter of the sign language, who is of course very rare in India, to come and save the person. We can't expect all the deaf and mute to write. And again, there is another challenge. Why we don't expect every deaf and mute to write? Because of another challenge of social stigma. As we observed by the experts, that when parents realize that their children, that their child or their children is deaf and mute, they insist time or they invest time in medicines and treatment and lose crucial years of child's learning. Everyone is from education background, they can understand it. And lose crucial years of child learning, and rather all this time of child is infused with inferiority, impacting their mind and personality and inferiority complexes. So many of them learn sign language just as the basic life skill, not as the mode of or as a full-fledged language to communicate. But when I searched about the deaf and mute achievers, I was astonished to see their achievements, which are beyond fully able achievers. But we need to tap that talent. So a national education policy is standardizing Indian Sign Language so it can be learned by everyone. As the founder of Noida Deaf Society, Ruma Roka, quotes, Indian Sign Language should be like English and can be used everywhere and anywhere by everyone to communicate. Further, she warns that one should not trap of prioritizing one dialect over the other. She means that local sign language, like a local dialect, should not fade away in the process of standardization. However, NEP confirmed that the standardization of Indian Sign Language will be done, but the local sign language will be respected and taught wherever it is necessary. Another major step in the Indian Sign Language that they are talking about, Indian Sign Language Research and Training Center at Delhi and NCERT, they have signed an MOU in which they will translate all the textbooks from class 1 to class 12 into Indian Sign Language. And I think this is the beautiful thing. We need people like that if we talk about a complete social inclusion. Social exclusion is not merely of talking about cultural or caste bifurcation. It is about ability bifurcation also, and including them wholeheartedly. So the time has come to speak beyond Hindi, English, and vernacular languages, because people only talk about Hindi and people talk about English and people talk about teaching in vernacular languages. We now need to talk beyond these languages which are written or spoken. We need sign language now. And thank you so much. In sign language, thank you is done said like this. Yeah, and clapping is not like this. Clapping is done like this in sign language. Yeah. So through these points, I wanted to lay importance of national education policy step to standardize of Indian Sign Language and making it an inclusive part of the mainstream academia. With this, I say thank you so much and good evening.
And
or
we
good
all
night.
clap.
Yeah, like
We all
this,
clap
right?
silent. Yes.
Thank
And,
you so much.
Really so appreciative of Shubhra ji, Ravinder ji, and Sushma ji to clap, to immediately take the cue and follow.
Yeah, and
Thank
just
you.
like that, ma'am, just like the trend as set by Dr. Sushma Chauhan, ते मैं भी डोगरी भाषा च मैं सारा ही धन्यवाद रखना चाहना ते मैं आखना चाहना मिगी सुनने दा थोड़ा मता धन्यवाद मिगी मौका दिता. It means that you gave me the opportunity to speak at this international platform. I am very grateful to all of you. Thank you.
Oh, so nice, sir, so nice. Thank you
Excuse
so
me.
much for this. Yes, ma'am.
Excuse me, Abhimanyu sir, Jadev.
Yes, ma'am. Jadev ji, Jadev ji.
Actually, मैंने पहले भी I have attended your program. That was fantastic.
Thank you,
You
ma'am.
have given the common examples. Exactly, I think that was NSS program
Yeah,
organized
on
by
communication skills. On,
Dr. Shubhra Jamwal, and I have also there. So
Yes,
you
yes,
are really genius and marvelous. Thank you
Thank you,
so
ma'am.
much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
And I would just like to add, as Abhimanyu did said about NEP, our college has taken this initiative under the provision with the higher education of them. We are coming with one center of disability, which will be a
Oh.
special center. So
Interesting.
JNK will soon be having a special center, and that too GCOA is the one to inaugurate that.
Amazing, amazing, Dr. Shukla, amazing. And very nice.
And since Shubhra ji spoke this, I would also like to register something. Our institution is already running a BTech program with sign languages, sir.
Wow.
And we are the first university in India to start this, and it was an
Yeah.
initiative by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam ji.
Very nice.
So ma'am,
Beautiful.
we can take your help in that case, because we are
Sure,
just
ma'am,
about to
sure.
start, so.
Sure, you're welcome, ma'am. You're welcome. And thank you, Abhimanyu ji. You know,
Thank you, ma'am.
no words to describe. And
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Ravi, sir. Thank you so much. Dhanyavad.
It is always a pleasure to listen to your beautiful voice and beautiful words, sir.
obviously, and that's why I said.
I'm missing
Yes,
today
Mr.
to
Ravinda.
read a long introduction of yours because it was missing today.
That's why I said I'll not introduce the name. I'll just read the technical sessions title and let's see who's coming in. Anyway, thank you, Abhimanyu ji. Thank you so much for that lively session. And now we move on to Ms. Savita Sambyal from Punjab, research scholar, and the title is Virtual Learning. Ms. Savita? Yes, she has unmuted.
Good evening, everybody. My voice is audible.
Yes, Ms. Savita, you're audible.
Yes. Good evening, everybody. Myself, Sabita Sambyal, a research scholar from LPU Jalandhar, and my topic is virtual learning and its relevance in the present scenario of online teaching mode during pandemic. The world today is facing pandemic as the coronavirus is sweeping it's around the globe and its impact is going on. The pandemic have brought many deaths. Millions have been quarantined and have led to a serious situation of thinking towards a global health emergency. The COVID-19 pandemic has led to a total lockdown world over, and India is no exception. During the period, the lockdown, the educational institutions have moved online and social distancing. Learning is rebooted during COVID-19. This COVID-19 is an ideal time to accept technological introduction and its latest offering to make education delivery to students more efficient and make it more productive through online learning. The shutdown of the educational institution had led to the many apprehensions among the students and teaching fraternity. However, the teaching fraternity has been adopting innovative methods to interact with the students and focusing on the curriculum. Virtual learning also comes an interesting and interactive additional resource as compared to the normal classroom. Institutes and enterprising teachers are promoting virtual learning among their students, through which all the students are ensured to be benefited, except a few belonging to underprivileged sections, and those could not be reached due to network connections. Hence, virtual learning will be the new format of learning, which help to improve the teaching learning process in this COVID-19 period. Universities and higher education institutions have instantly turned to conduct virtual classes, online assignment submission, and teacher-student interaction in the COVID-19 situation. So, virtual learning refers to learning that can functionally and effectively occur in the absence of traditional classroom environment with the help of internet and a computer. Broadly, the mode of virtual learning can be categorized under distance education. The field of distance education has been evolved with the three models. The first two models of distance education focus on transmission of educational content through postal services and later through media including radio and television. However, both the models of distance education just transfer the content from the sender to receiver, leaving no provision for the receiver to do anything except performing the course assessments. While the third model introduced provision of computer conferencing, which lead to the major change in the basic structure of distance education. The technological revolution in the field of distance education facilitate two-way communication between the facilitator and the learner. Thus, the shift from one-way communication to two-way communication remains the focus of modern distance education. The popularity and need of the hour clearly suggests that students learn in a better way through virtual education. Since virtual learning is very broad concept, there can be interaction between teacher and students using live chats and conferences calls, or maybe through discussion panel. Another impact of having a virtual learning system is there is no time restriction to learn the lesson. The students can view the online lesson as much as they want. Study become easy and interesting. You can study anywhere and anytime from the world with the help of just one click through your internet. Another best thing is you can go through your lessons in the comfort of your own house or in the comfortable atmosphere of the coffee shop or restaurant. Virtual learning helps you to learn the real life case studies of expertise from the industry. These industrialists, educationists, and scientists are glad to answer your questions and share their knowledge through forums. Usually in virtual learning, reputed professor can teach you the concepts in a smart and innovative way. Almost all online education apps which helps in learning have a customer care or helpline numbers to answer all your doubts, which is active 24/7. There are many advantages or benefit of acquiring online education. You can learn anything you are interested in through online education, which also includes your patience without having any form of movement, that is traveling or going to the college. Through virtual learning, you can always find a program of your choice, no matter where you live or study. Virtual learning is all about being in your comfort zone. Imagine you just have to sit at home and watch the lessons online rather than traveling in the public transport, sitting in an uncomfortable bench, and so on. The main benefit of online education is flexibility. Pursuing an online program by staying at home, it himself out of his own interest. Online courses offered by reputed universities And colleges also give you credits along with the certificate. So you are able to transfer it to other university programs, which are at times required in the admission process in the future. There are some reasons as why virtual learning is a major boon. And the first is knowledge gaining in each niche areas. Sometimes due to demographical restrictions or financial restriction, we are not able to learn the matter we want and end up setting for other subjects or learning matter instead through online education. You can take any course you want to gain any amount of knowledge without the hassle of an extensive competitive learning environment. This helps us broaden our prospects and eliminate the complication that would otherwise come in our way due to traditional learning. This also helps improve our skills and improve our knowledge. Second, comfort. You are able to learn or complete your education wherever you are most comfortable. That could be in your own home, a coffee shop, or wherever. The location does not matter as long as you have the device you are learning. You don't have to think about attending classes, sitting in an uncomfortable chair or position, or suffering from aches and pains. But it's also best not to get too comfortable while studying, as your attention could be divided. Some people also suffer from social anxiety and may not be able to perform or learn in crowded classroom. Through virtual learning, these people do not have to associate with crowds, and this keeps their anxiety under control and help them perform better. Third is self-paced learning. Self-paced learning means that student can complete the course at any given time. There is no time limit given to them, and hence the word self-paced, which means at your own speed. A person can complete their target of the coursework at any time. This gives the students the luxury of time and the ability to do things when it's most suitable to them. When you opt for a normal college degree, you have to schedule your entire life around that, which make it difficult for working people or single parents. Next, we have the interaction and concentration. Virtual learning eliminate the various classroom distraction and external forces that comes in the way of learning. This could be either disinterested students or stray noises. These distractions could lead to breaking of the student's concentration, as some students have a low span of attention or attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Through virtual learning courses, students can learn in their own comfort zone without any of the distraction or unnecessary stoppage. Technical skill. Industrialization has taken over the world, and advancement in technology have reached new heights. Nowadays, almost everything uses computer technology. Online education helps us develop computer skills along with the skills of whatever courses we are studying. In order to get a good high-paying placement, a large skill set is necessary, and online education helps us achieve that goal. There are some tips for effective virtual learning. First, setting up a routine. We all know how much students benefit from a solid routine in the classroom. And the same is the true for online learning as well. Set out a clear timetable for assignment deadlines, video conference lessons, and group activities, and make sure this is clearly disseminated to all students. It is also helpful to set up processes for checking in with students and taking attendance at start of each online activity, as well as checking out at the end of it. The hardware side of the things. It's easy to take for granted that all students have compatible and up-to-date devices for e-learning in the classroom, but that's not always the case when they are at home. We don't want students to miss out on learning because of practical issues that aren't in their control. It is always prudent to check that parents and see how the school can support and accommodate students who may have patchy internet connections or older computer that do not support certain programs.
Ma'am? So it's the network again. We'll wait for a minute.
Savita ma'am? Are you there, Savita ma'am? I think there's a
Savita?
technical issue.
Shibraji, shall we wait for a minute to see if she rejoins?
Ma'am, as you wish.
Because
Yeah. So whatever you say.
she's about to finish.
Yes.
It wouldn't be fine if we wind up before she joins. So we'll wait for a minute.
Yes.
Yeah, because I have two questions with her on the point which she has said. I listen to every person's speech very carefully, very diligently.
Yes, that we came. That's quite clear actually for all of us.
That's your identity, sir.
I listen because I look forward that what a person has to say new on something, a new idea, a new thing we catch up, and that's why we are here.
Yes.
And that's why you are a good speaker, because a good listener is a good speaker.
Thank you.
Exactly. I agree with Mr. Ravinder. You're correct, gentleman.
Thank you, Ravinder. Thank you, ma'am.
Now, I don't think Ms. Savita will do.
Yeah, I think before she could join, ma'am, there is some point about her speech, about her session. I'm sorry.
Okay,
lecture.
come out with your questions, sir.
Yeah, I think we can share our ideas about it. She talked about the benefits of online classes, like that some people have anxiety. It is good for
Ms.
them.
Savita has joined. Wait,
Okay,
wait
that
for-
is amazing. That is amazing. If
Ms.
she has-
Savita? Savita ma'am?
She has to unmute herself.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, we are waiting for you, Savita ma'am.
Sorry, sir.
It's okay.
Yes.
Actually, he's waiting. for
I'm
questions.
talking about the.
Could you please make it a little faster because you shouldn't lose
Yes,
your
ma'am.
connectivity again? Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you.
Let me conclude my topic. As humans have survived a lot of tragedies and natural calamities till date, and he has somehow managed to pass through that as well. The present situation is also one of the testing time for humans race, and he will surely come out of this disaster of COVID-19. But the most affected sector due to this pandemic is educational sector. Millions of students are locked within their homes and they are unable to go to school. To compensate this loss, the virtual and online learning has played very vital role. Now, almost every student is logged to his mobile screen and the teachers are trying to give their best to the students. Thanks to the technological advancement and the growing demand of the online learning and teaching. The future of the virtual learning is very bright and we should make effort to make more innovative techniques for teaching and learning in a virtual and online mode. Thank you. Have a nice day. Stay safe.
Sure, Savita ma'am. Thank you for that concern. Now, Mr. Abhimanyu has a question, ma'am. Shall we listen to him?
Yeah, sure.
Sir, please.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Savita ma'am, you when you talked about the benefits of online classes, you talked about those people who have anxiety issues, they can sit home and study. But
Yes,
don't you think that hinders the purpose of the education if anxiety issue is really the cause of someone's personality's hindrance? In school, that person gets the opportunity or challenges to face, maybe by himself through hard way, or maybe with the guidance of the teachers through soft way, person can overcome that anxiety issue. One. Secondly, you talked about they are self-paced. Yes, self-paced are good only for this is my version. I'm not forcing anything on you. This is my
yes,
version.
sir.
For
Ji.
people like us who are working, we can have that self-paced privilege, but that also hinders our learning or our educational attitude when we don't learn to perform under pressure, when we are not disciplined to form the timeline. So I think these two issues which we think as a benefit, they are like more hindering to the education of the child. This is what I believe, because a person is not able to overcome the anxiety by sitting home, and if self-paced, lack of discipline, lack of goal setting, lack of time management, and lack of motivation is there. So these are my
Lack of an external pressure. That's the main thing, I think.
because if we don't learn how to handle pressure in school, ma'am, the life is so tough outside.
Yes, sir, exactly. You are saying right. But there are so many ways to overcome the anxiety in online classes also. One who is not comfortable in the crowd, he can ask any question or any query to his friends or the peer group or to any expert, and slowly and steadily he overcome his anxiety. I think so.
Yeah, if that how to overcome the anxiety, that is not my question. My concern is about
Online.
online classes doesn't help to handle this part of our personality.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, I agree.
Yes.
I agree, because there are students who are very lethargic during the online classes.
Yes, and they get the opportunity to hide themselves more in the online classes.
Even
Yes.
sir, we are also facing this problem that students are not attending the class regularly in online mode.
Yes, very true. Even if they come online, they will go somewhere else.
Everything closed, the camera switched off, the mic muted, they go silent.
Very
Yes,
true,
sir.
very true.
Yes.
These are some of the basic challenges that we face at home itself with the kids.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
obviously,
Exactly.
sir.
Forget about
And
that.
when Miss Savita was telling why it's a boon, the virtual learning part, I just wanted to tell the first one is to stay alive.
Yeah. To get the salaries also, to justify the salaries also.
Yes. Yes. That was a nice presentation of the need of the hour. And when you said everything is at the fingertip, when we were children, our parents would tell, whatever you learn, you should have at your fingertips. Now, obviously, everything is at fingertips. We don't have anything, we don't carry anything in our head, right? Only our fingers do all the work what we need to do. So it has become the new normal. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for turning the pages over to the new normal.
Okay, sir. This is my pleasure, ma'am. Thank you.
Welcome, ma'am. So, Shubhra ji,
Yes, ma'am.
shall we call it a day?
Yes. So thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us. And I understand that we rescheduled your program, but still you are there. I suppose you are all alone in your department. And
all alone in my university, except for the security guards.
Yes, I am.
Anyway, thank you for rescheduling. Thank you for being in my shoes. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. And it was really a nice time interacting with all people. And Abhimanyu sir, a special thanks to you.
Thank
for
you, ma'am.
always being there for us.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a ton, ma'am, once again. So with this, we come to the end of today's session. First day of International FTP. It was a wonderful program today. And from the deep core of my heart, I thank each and everybody. Yes, true, true. And it was lovely day, lovely interactions we had. Special thanks to Dr. Sushma Bala ma'am. Ma'am was there continuously with a lot of strength,
Since
and
morning she's
so
sitting at the
this
same
is
place.
actually positivity which we all of us are getting, and all of us they are there. This is a strength, you can say. And
I must say that that beautiful smile from till the beginning, since the morning until evening. Same
Mr.
smile,
Ravinder, I
beautiful.
just wanted to mention that because I've been here only for an hour or two. I've been saying Sushma ma'am has the same positive, the same consistency.
Yeah, yes,
The
very true.
consistency in her smile. Really great, ma'am. At least the
Thank you,
others
thank you,
are.
ma'am. I wish to
Welcome,
see you.
welcome.
I wish to see you.
I'm sorry, I'm not in my formals.
Okay,
Because
any next time, ma'am.
you saw me now.
Good, good,
This
good.
is me.
Beauty lies in the eyes, ma'am.
Beauty lies in the beholder's
This
eyes.
is my own personal opinion.
Shukriya ji.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much.
But I must
Thank
say
you, ma'am.
that this particular additional slot was very much lively and very much informative and very much enjoyable also.
Yes,
Right?
very true. Very lively. Yes.
Special
So
thanks to
That's the
Ravinder also. Nena.
And
Thank
all
you
my
so much,
volunteers
ma'am.
are there, ma'am. They are
Exactly,
since
exactly.
morning. They are with me. Thank you, each and every one.
Yes, I could see
Yes,
the names.
Priya
Yeah, yeah.
is there, and everybody.
Abhimanyu sir, I have missed something in the morning. Special thanks to you also. You deserve the special vote of thanks from my side.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Really, really. I have already discussed with Shubhra also.
अच्छा, अच्छा, ma'am,
Yes,
thank
of course.
So
मैं गप
thank
नहीं
you.
लगाती.
you. नहीं, ma'am, मुझे पता है.
So
So with this, we are about we are towards the end of the first day of the 3-day international virtual conference on teaching, learning, and education, and we have come across various diverse topics, areas, and the eminent speakers and the wonderful paper presenters. So we expect the same for the next 2 days also. So till then, have a nice day, be safe, be healthy, and have a good day. Thank you so much, everyone, for being and